Welcome, glad you're here. When you think of New Orleans, what pops up? Beads, jazz, and Bourbon Street, right? But there's more than beads and parades. Beyond the crowds, a quieter magic waits. This city hums with hidden stories and soulful corners. You just have to know where to look. New Orleans is more than a party, it's an experience. Let's peel back the layers together. I'll show you the city's best kept secrets. Stick around. What's coming is special. If you love jazz, art, or just a good story, you're in the right place. And if you prefer your adventures a bit off the beaten path, even better. So, let's begin our journey. If you enjoy this, tap like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Ready? Let's discover the hidden gems of New Orleans. Our first destination is not a grand imposing structure, it's something far more intimate, more real. Tucked away in the historic Treme neighborhood, we find the Backstreet Cultural Museum. From the outside, it's unassuming. But to miss it would be to miss the very soul of a vital New Orleans tradition. It's a living archive of joy, resilience, and artistry. The main attraction is the collection of Mardi Gras Indian suits. These are towering, elaborate masterpieces of beadwork and plumage, each one telling a story. They are astounding works of folk art. Each suit can weigh over 100 pounds and take an entire year to create. It chronicles the social aid and pleasure clubs, the jazz funerals, and the unique traditions of Black street culture in New Orleans. It's a profound educational experience. The museum also pays homage to the jazz funeral. It's a celebration of life at the moment of death. It's a reminder that in New Orleans, joy and sorrow are not opposites. They are partners in the dance of life. It's a small museum with a colossal heart. It is an essential stop for anyone seeking the city's true character. Next up, Faubourg Marigny, a neighborhood bursting with color and light. Here, pastel cottages and bold Creole homes line every block. Residents relax on porches, gardens overflow, and the vibe is easygoing. As the sun sets, Frenchman Street comes alive with music. Legendary clubs, street musicians, and jazz fill the night air. This is the real New Orleans, colorful, creative, and unforgettable. The Music Box Village is an interactive art installation where the buildings themselves are the instruments. You don't just look at the art here, you bang on it, you crank it, you pull levers. It's a full-body auditory experience. There's a certain whimsical charm to the whole affair. And the sounds, it's more like the soundtrack to a very peculiar, very hands-on dream. You walk through this musical shantytown and you find yourself becoming part of the performance. You approach a structure, find a rope, and pull. Suddenly, a series of chimes and bells rings out. You might find yourself drawn to the noise areum, a building where every surface seems designed to produce some sort of sound. They host actual concerts here. The entire village becomes a single sprawling instrument played by a band. Ultimately, the Music Box Village is a celebration of play. It's wonderfully, beautifully, and noisily weird. All that musical excitement, you might need something more placid. Let me suggest a trip to Algiers Point. To get there, you take a ferry. It gives you a sense of perspective. Algiers Point is one of New Orleans' oldest neighborhoods, a world away from the French Quarter. The architecture is just stunning. You'll find these beautiful, well-preserved Victorian homes. And the views. Oh, the views. From the riverbank, you get this magnificent panoramic vista of the New Orleans skyline. It's the kind of view that makes you stop and just breathe. There's a lovely little jazz club, the Old Point Bar, that's been there forever. You'll also find a handful of charming little pubs and cafes. So if you're looking for a respite, Algiers Point is your sanctuary. It's a chance to recharge your batteries and experience a side of New Orleans that many visitors miss. You've had your quiet moment of reflection. Now it's time for a cocktail at the Carousel Bar Lounge. Yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. A bar that is also a carousel. The bar itself, a beautiful, ornate, circus-themed merry-go-round, slowly rotates. You sit on your stool, order a sazerac, and the room gently revolves around you. It's both completely absurd and utterly brilliant. Executed with such class, the carousel moves at a stately pace. The bar itself is a work of art with vintage gilded charm. This is a place for grown-ups to appreciate well-made drinks. Getting a seat can be a challenge, but the prize is worth it. They're credited with creating the Vieux Carré. Ordering one here feels like participating in a little piece of history. Located in the grand historic Hotel Monteleone, the lounge itself is beautiful. It's the epitome of old-school elegance. It's a quintessential New Orleans experience, a little bit strange, a little bit magical, and steeped in history. All right, number 6 on our little excursion is something called Crescent Park. Now, I'm told it's a park, which, is a fine thing for a city to have. Parks are generally agreeable, but this isn't just any old patch of grass. Apparently, this is a linear park. It stretches for over a mile along the Mississippi. They say it offers unparalleled views of the city skyline. I'm looking at this picture here, and I must admit, the path does look rather smooth. It's a clean, modern design, which is a relief. You can see the city across the water all lit up. It seems to be a place where one could take a constitutional without undue stress on the joints. And they've repurposed old industrial wharves, which is a very in thing to do these days. It's like jogging through a museum, but with more fresh air and a significantly higher chance of being dive-bombed by a pelican. Now, one of the signature features of this Crescent Park is a rather dramatic-looking bridge. They call it the Rusty Rainbow. It takes you up and over some active railroad tracks. The park itself is landscaped with native plants. This is a thoughtful touch. It connects the Bywater and Marigny neighborhoods to the French Quarter. And for that, Crescent Park, I salute you. A triumph of sensible, aesthetically pleasing urban planning. Well done. Moving on. Number 7, we find ourselves at the Frenchman Art Market. This implies a certain energy, a bustling, open-air quality. It's a place where you can browse and discover things you never knew you needed. It's an outdoor affair, strung with lights, which gives it a rather magical atmosphere. They say it's a place to find unique, locally made art. This is art with personality, art with a story. Paintings capture the city's soul with a kind of chaotic, vibrant energy. The artists themselves are often right there at their stalls. You can actually have a conversation with the person who made the thing you're admiring. It's not just an object anymore, it's a souvenir with a human connection. And the atmosphere, there's music in the air, usually from a nearby jazz club or a busker on the corner. It's alive, creative, unapologetically original, and utterly captivating. You might go in just to look, but I have a feeling you won't be leaving empty-handed. It's primarily a nighttime venue. At night, when the air cools down and the city comes alive, that's the perfect time for a leisurely stroll through an open-air gallery. Strings of bare bulbs and fairy lights are draped between the trees and the stalls, casting this warm, inviting glow over everything, and it's located on Frenchman Street, which is the epicenter of the city's live music scene. The rhythm of the city becomes the soundtrack for your art browsing. Wander into this twinkling marketplace of creativity. You're part of the living, breathing fabric of the neighborhood. What a novel concept. Right, let's move on to number 8. This one is a museum dedicated to drugs, the New Orleans Pharmacy Museum. We're talking about the potions, lotions, and questionable concoctions of 19th century medicine. It's located in the actual apothecary of America's first licensed pharmacist, Louis J. DeFilio Jr. The place is filled with gorgeous hand-blown apothecary jars, all labeled in elegant Latin script. Belladonna, arsenic, various opiates. It's like a pantry for a very sophisticated poisoner. They have displays of surgical instruments that look more like something you'd find in a medieval torture chamber. You look at these things and you can't help but think, people survived this? One of the more uplifting stories associated with this place is the invention of the soda fountain. And then there's the ghost. Apparently, the spirit of Dr. DeFilio still wanders the premises. It's a quirky, compelling, and slightly creepy window into the past. It's educational, it's entertaining, and it will make you want to go home and hug your family doctor. After all that walking, I imagine one might be feeling a bit peckish, and when in New Orleans, eating is an event. Our next stop is the St. Roch Market. It's a gastronomic emporium housed in a building that dates back to 1875. It's a beautifully restored, bright, airy hall with a modern, sophisticated polish. And the food, my goodness, the food. Here you have a multitude of options. It's a collection of some of the city's most exciting food vendors, all gathered under one elegant roof. It's the sheer diversity that's so impressive. One moment you're contemplating freshly shucked oysters, and then just a few steps away, you're enticed by the aroma of slow-cooked Vietnamese pho. It's a social hub, a gathering place with a lively buzz. And let's talk about the bar for a moment, because it is in its own right a destination. They craft some truly exceptional cocktails here, with the kind of attention to detail one appreciates. It's the soundtrack of a city that loves to eat and loves to eat together. So my advice is to come with an empty stomach and an open mind. That's the true spirit of the St. Roch Market. It's about discovery, about community, and about celebrating the incredible bounty of this city. Let's detour from the tourist trail. We're venturing into a world that's a bit more, it's the historic Voodoo Museum, Voodoo. Not just spooky stories, it's a deeply rooted belief system that has shaped the city. Inside, it's cozy, intimate, like a private collection filled with incredible artifacts and stories. Altars, ceremonial objects, and portraits of voodoo queens surround you. Each altar is a meticulously crafted piece of devotion. Offerings are left for the spirits or Loa. It's about honoring ancestors and seeking guidance. A blend of West African traditions, Catholicism, and Creole influences, uniquely New Orleans. A survival story of holding on to beliefs. You'll learn about Marie Laveau, the voodoo queen. You might see voodoo dolls, traditionally used for healing. Then there are gris bags, pouches filled with herbs, oils, and stones, designed to bring protection, love, or good fortune. You'll see depictions of Baron Samedi, the Loa of the dead, a way of understanding the world. Leaving, you step back into the sun, feeling different. A visit that adds a new dimension to your understanding of this complex place. It's a key to unlocking the city's soul. For our grand finale, we're visiting a place hiding in plain sight, the old U.S. Mint, a grand building at the edge of the French Quarter. It now houses something far more soulful than gold or silver. It's home to the New Orleans Jazz Museum. They have an astonishing collection of instruments, including Louis Armstrong's very first cornet. You'll find instruments owned by legends like Dizzy Gillespie and Sidney Bechet. The museum offers a deep dive into the history and culture of jazz. The museum houses the world's largest collection of jazz-related artifacts, including over 10,000 recordings. On the third floor, there is a stunning performance venue where they host live jazz concerts. It's the complete jazz experience, all under one historic roof. It is one of the most important and overlooked cultural institutions in the entire city, a place where the city's past, present, and future all come together in one glorious harmony. Well, there you have it. Our little journey through the lesser-known but no less wonderful corners of New Orleans has come to an end. From the profound history of the Voodoo Museum to the soul-stirring sounds at the Jazz Museum, I hope we've shown you a side of this city that goes beyond the beads and the balconies. It's a city with a depth and a character that continues to surprise and delight if you just know where to look. Thank you so much for joining me, for coming along on this little exploration. It's been a genuine pleasure sharing these places with you. Now, if you enjoyed this little tour and you're perhaps thinking, that Eugene Fellow isn't half bad at this, then I would be enormously grateful if you would consider liking this video. It's a small click for you, but it's a big deal for us. And if you'd like to see more deep dives into the secret spots of the world's most fascinating cities, please do hit that subscribe button and maybe ring that little bell. That way you won't miss a thing and we can be sure to have you along for our next adventure. We'd hate to leave without you. And finally, this is a two-way street. I've shared some of my favorite hidden gems, but I know for a fact there are countless more out there. New Orleans is a city of a million secrets after all. So I want to hear from you. Please go down to the comments section and share your own discoveries. What's that little cafe, that quiet courtyard, that quirky shop that you think deserves more love? Let's build a community of curious travelers right here. Let's help each other find the magic that's hiding just around the corner. Thank you again for watching. Stay curious, stay adventurous, and we'll see you next time. For now, I'll just leave you with a little bit of this incredible music to see you on your way. Take care.